I hope that you're well, and I also hope that you are having a good day so far. Today, we'll be doing our grade 3 English lesson on dictionary skills. And before we start with our lesson on dictionary skills, we're going to log into aplusstudents.ca. Once we've logged on to aplusstudents.ca with our username as well as our password, and then we're going to select the subject of language arts grade 3. Once we've selected the subject of language arts grade 3, and then we're going to log into then we're going to scroll down up until we get to the chapter of dictionary skills. All right, so our chapter is dictionary skills. The subject is English, which is language arts, grade 3, and the lessons that we're going to be focusing on under the chapter of dictionary skills is to use guide words, use dictionary entries, which will be set 1 as well as set 2, which means that we are just going to look at a few entries and look at the specific definitions thereof. And then we will also try and look at or use dictionary definitions where certain words will be given, and you're going to have to try to figure out what you think the definition is of those words. All right, so when it comes to dictionary entries, right? Dictionary entries, we know it is where, especially if you want to look for a specific meaning of a word, and then of course we look at a dictionary, right? So a dictionary, that is where we'll find words with its specific meanings. And within a dictionary, we have guide words, right? And we're also going to find out what guide words are. And also how we can use guide words. So when it comes to dictionary skills, right, we have guide words, and guide words appear on each page of a dictionary. They tell you the first word as well as the last word on the page. So say, for example, when you look up a specific word, right, firstly, words are in alphabetical order within a dictionary. So if you're looking up a specific word, then when you go to a specific page in the dictionary, you will find the first word on the page, on the specific page that you're looking at, and you'll also find the last word. So that is guide words. Guide words appear on each page of a dictionary. They tell you the first word as well as the last word of that page. So when you are looking for a specific word, the guide words will be there to guide you, right? So this is where you'll be able to know, like, okay, like this word is either before this, it's either after the last word, or it is in between the guide words. And once you have your guide words, the words, the all the other words that is in between the first word as well as the last guide word on that specific page, the other words on the page come between the guide words will be in alphabetical order. And to put the words in alphabetical order, we need to put it in order by the first letter, right? So that is how we put words in alphabetical order. We put it in order of the first letter. And if you're looking at for a specific word, let's say, if you need to look up the meaning of boy, right? So if you need to look up a specific word in the dictionary, right, you will have the words that is written in alphabetical order, right? But it is, if you are looking specifically for words starting with B, then you will find all the letters or the words starting with B. Then if you're looking for words starting, let's say, like we say, boy, right? So the next word, right, if there's a next word that also starts with B, that means that you're specifically going to look at that first letter, right, in order to look for a specific word. If you cannot seem to find the word by just looking at the first letter, then we then look at the second letter, right, which is maybe say BO, right? Then if by the second letter the word is, it's still complicated to look for a specific word, then you then look at the third letter and so on and so on. But that is how you will basically be guided. But all you need to know is that it will be in alphabetical order. And if one word is shorter and there are more letters to compare, then the shorter word comes in first in alphabetical order. The shortest word will always come first because, of course, there isn't much letters, right? And the less letters there are, the easier it will be for you to also look up a specific word. For example, if you're looking at the word, right? This word will come before this word. So B will definitely come before bed, right? Because both has E, right? So B will come before bed because bed then adds another letter. But we also need to specifically know that words in the dictionary are written in alphabetical order. So if you're looking for a specific word, remember the dictionary words are from the letter A, starting from the letter A, and then all the other words starting with A, and then it goes on to B up until it goes on to Z. That is literally all of the words that you're specifically looking for. Depending on the dictionary that you have, you'll probably find certain words or you won't find certain words. If you have more a kiddies dictionary, then you will find less words than a big adult dictionary with, let's say, with more pages in. So the more pages, the more words. So usually dictionaries are on the level of either your grade or on the level of your age. And once again, like I said, guide words, it appears on each page of a dictionary, right? And it will tell you the first word as well as the last word on on that specific page. And all the other words that you're looking for, depending on the letter, they will then come between those guide words, but it will also be in alphabetical order. All right, so now we're going on to, we are doing our tutorial lesson on aplusstudents.ca. All right, so now we're going to aplusstudents.ca. So we're going to the first lesson under our chapter of dictionary skills, which is to use guide words. All right, and we say that guide words, it appears on each page of a dictionary, right? And they will either tell you the first word and they will tell you the last word on the page. And all the other words that you're looking for will come between those words and it will be in alphabetical order. And in order for you to put the words in alphabetical order, we put them in order by letter, starting by the first letter. And if the first letters are the same, we then look at the second letter, which means that we look at the first and the second letters. And if those second letters are also the same, then we then look at the first, second, and third letter, right? Specifically the third letter also. And like I say, if the third letter is the same, then you then look at the fourth letter and so on, up until you get the words that is then put in order. And like we say that if there's a word that is shorter than another word, if you need to compare it, then the shorter word we put first. All right, so now we're going to look at a few guide words, right? It says, which word would you find on a dictionary page with the following guide words? So here they're giving us two guide words, right? Which is called kerosene as well as knives, right? So we need to guide, this is the guide words. Remember, this is then the first word that will appear on a page, on a dictionary page, and then this will be the last word. Meaning if you have the page in the dictionary, usually you have your specific letters or words on either side, right? Your words with meaning. That word will be the first word on the page, and knives will be the last word on the page. So all the other words in between will be in alphabetical order, starting with K-E, going on, what is after E, F, G, no word with K, G, or K, F example. So which means it will be K, I, and so on up until you get K in for knives, right? So which means that you now need to find a word that will basically be between KE and KN. And yes, like you say, kitchen is definitely a word that comes between those because I comes after E and I also comes before N. So kitchen is correct, right? You can also look at the word kitten. right? That is also a word that you'll probably find between these two words, between these two guide words, because we have our first letter, which is K, and then we have our second letter, which is I. And I also comes between E as well as between N, right? So that is just two words so far that you will find between that two guide words. All right. If we look at these two guide words, we have advice and we have arrow, right? If we look at this word almost, do you think almost is a word that comes between advice and arrow? Almost. We have advice, which is our first guide word, and then we have arrow, which is our last guide word. So the word almost, which is A-L, second letter L, because A is the same. So the second letter L. Do you think that almost comes between those two guide words? And yes, that is correct. Almost do come between arrow as well as advice because the second letter, which is L, L is after D and L is before R, right? So almost it comes between advice and it comes between arrow. All right, we need to say if this word banana comes between before and if it comes before boast. Banana, B-A-N-A-N-A. Banana. Does it come between these two words? If you're saying yes, then you need to tell me what comes after what or before what. Or if you say no, then you must tell me where specifically you will find banana. All right, so some is saying yes and some is saying no. So basically, banana will not be found. It won't be between these two words because banana comes before. It comes before, specifically because A comes before E, right? So banana will be somewhere over here let's say on the previous page, right? But it will not be on that same page as before as well as post. Oh, okay. So if you said no, then well done. All right, so now let's go to our test. So there's two words given to us, right, as the specific or the possible answers. We need to say which word would you find on a dictionary page with the following guide words: key and new. Key and new. Key being KAY, new being KNEW. So if we look at these two words, kindness and kayak, which one of these two words will come between key and new? Keeping in mind, key and new are guide words, which means that on a dictionary page, key will be the first word, new will be the last word, which means that any word that you're going to choose is going to come between key and new. So we have guide words, right? So if you have your dictionary, so on your dictionary, if you open up the dictionary on any page in your dictionary and you look right on top on your dictionary, the first word on your dictionary, let me try to make an example. So the first, if this is your dictionary page, right, then usually you have words and their meanings, right? And on the other side, you also have words and their meanings. So on the very first, if this is page 5 in the dictionary, then then you'll find the first word, for example, on the top of the page, and you'll also find the last word at the bottom of the page, right? We call this guide words. So on each page, there will be a different word, right? On the top of the page, as well as the bottom of the page. We call that guide words, the first word as well as the last word. Then all the other words that we have in between key, for example, and new, it will be in alphabetical order. And those words will be words that is in between, let's say, key and new. So which means that any other word that will come after key will start with a K and an E, or K and I, for example. But all of those words will be anything that will be before K and N, for example. Any other word that is before KE will be on the previous page. Any other word that will maybe be KM or N or something will be on the next page. So we need to say kindness or kayak is either between these two words, or let's say, for example, I for kindness, does it come before key, or does it come after new, or does it come in between? All right. And that is correct. So basically, the word that we're going to choose is kindness, right? Because it's like they say, kindness is KI, and KI comes after KE, and it comes before KN, right? So kindness. And yes, kayak is like a type of boat or something that you use to, you usually use it on a river or something. But kindness is correct. So well done. Kindness is correct. Kayak is KA, and that goes before key. All right, so you're going to either say yes or no, right? Would you find the word chocolate On the same dictionary page with the following guide words, we have our guide words, which is carol and cocoon. So, chocolate, would you find it on this specific page with our first word being carol, which is CA, and our last word being cocoon, which is CO? Look at the word. Try to, it's either yes or it is no. Oh gosh, what's happening? So it's either yes or you're saying no. Remember, we can't say maybe. So it's either we are saying yes or we're saying no. Remember, you can't say maybe. You're either saying yes or you're saying no, because that is the answer that you're going to choose. Sorry. All right. So basically, chocolate we will find between carol and cocoon. Because if we look at our dictionary, right? If we look at, let's say, I'm going to go from A to O. Okay, I'm going to stop just there, right? Remember, we said that you first look at the first letter, right? So if both of the first letters are the same, then we look at the second letter. So we have H for chocolate, right? Carol is CA. There's A. Cocoon is CO. There's O. Chocolate is CH, which means that H is over here, which means that chocolate it is in between carol and cocoon, because here we will find chocolate. All right. So we will say yes, chocolate you will find on the same page as carol and cocoon. So well done. Yes is correct. All right. So boy and broken. Will you find the word beaver, which is Beaver, specifically BA, beaver? Will you find beaver on the same page as boy and broken? So it's either yes or it is no. Look at the second letter specifically, because remember we said that if the first letter is the same, then we then look at the second letter. So the first letters are all the same, which is starting with a B. Now you need to ask yourself, is E in between O and R, or does it come before O, or does it come after R? Beaver. Does it come on the same page of boy and broken? All right, so if we choose, or if we were to say if boy is, or let's say beaver is either between boy and broken, then we can say no, right? Because BE, specifically E, specifically E, it comes before boy. So BE comes before BO, which is for boy. So not even close. So no. So well done. It is no. All right. So once again, remember we have guide words, and your guide words you'll find on a specific page of a dictionary, which will be the first word as well as the last word. And these are the words that will guide you. And any other words that is between the guide words will be in alphabetical order. So now we're going to use dictionary entries, right? We're just going to look at a few example of dictionary entries. Remember, if we have the dictionary entry, right, you're looking at a specific word. If you're looking at a specific word, let's say we're looking at the word bar, right? If you're looking at the word bar, firstly, in the dictionary, the word is spelled correctly, right? So BAR, that is how the word is even spelled, right? So you'll have your word, for example, bar, right? As the example that we have over here. Then if you look at this word, BAHR, this we call the pronunciation, pronunciation. And pronunciation is basically how you say a word, right? So as much as we know, okay, this is bar, but you must know that words are, let's say it is basically said differently, especially in different countries, right? It's the same as if we look at the word, let's use the word banana, right? You would maybe say the word banana, right, in your country. But let's say in my country, which is in South Africa, we say banana. So this word, which is BAHR, you will find in the dictionary, and then they will tell you how a word is pronounced, as into how you say the word, right? Then also we have, they'll either tell you if the word is a noun, they'll tell you if the word is a verb. So this is the part of speech, right? If it's a verb, if it's an adjective, then here they will basically tell you what part of speech it is. And then PL, meaning the plural form of bar, is bars, meaning we just added an S. Now, a dictionary entry, right? If you are looking at a specific word, it will also be in, like, it will be numbered, meaning that if bar has more than one meaning, they will basically put all the meanings in number form, meaning the number one says a bar, right? So a bar, the first meaning of bar means a long piece of metal or wood. So here they give you the meaning. So it's a long piece of metal or wood. And then here they're giving you an example of it, right? Or a sentence example saying, Kathleen climbed on the monkey bars. So now you not only know the meaning, but you know how to put the meaning in context. Then the second meaning is a chunk of something like soap. So they usually call, like, if maybe they say, let's go and let me buy soap, they'll say, let's buy a bar of soap, right? So then an example is wash your hands with this bar of soap. And then the third meaning of that specific word is a counter where food and drinks are served, right? So Ying ordered a sandwich at the bar. So that is basically the three different meanings of that one specific word, right? All right, so now let's look at this specific word, this work. The next word is work, right? I basically gave you guys a breakdown of the word that is given to you, the pronunciation of the word, the parts of speech, as well as if it's either plural form or so on. I also gave you an example of where the meaning is, as well as examples. So now we need to select the pronunciation in this dictionary. The pronunciation, how is this word spelt? Or not even spelt, how do we say this word? The pronunciation. All right, so if we look at the pronunciation of the word, then we say this word over here, which is W U R K. That is the pronunciation of the word. And the pronunciation of the word, it basically tells you how you basically say the word, right? If we look at this word shop, what do you think within these words and sentences that is over here? Where can we find the pronunciation of the word? And if we look at the pronunciation of the word, then shop will then be, this is how you basically have to say shop, right? And sharp is a thin or pointed, able to cut things easily, right? So it's either thin or pointed, and you're able to cut things easily. All right, so now we're going to our test where we are going to use dictionary entries. We need to select the pronunciation in this dictionary entry. Is it W U R K or W O R K? So the first option or the second option, which is the pronunciation. Remember, the pronunciation is how you say the word. So we need to find the pronunciation. Is it the first option or the second option? And if we if we need to find the pronunciation, then it's the first option. Because remember, the first word is basically how the word is spelled, like work. And in the second word, which is WURK, that is how you say the word. So work is correct. Select the second definition in this entry. What is the second definition within this dictionary entry of thin? The second definition, is it not heavy or fat, or comparative and superlative? We need to select the definition. The second definition, does it mean thin? Does it mean not heavy or fat? Or does it mean comparative or superlative? The first one or the second one? And the second meaning of the word thin, right, means that you are not heavy or you are not fat. All right. What is the part of speech in this dictionary entry? The part of speech of shot. Is it shot or is it nouns? The part of speech. Is it shot or nouns? We need to select the part of speech within this dictionary entry. And the second one is correct, which means that the part of speech means that shot is a noun. So it is nouns. All right, so the last one, shop. The meaning of shop. What is the pronunciation of shop? Is it the first option, which is SHAHRP, or the second option, which is SHARP? The pronunciation, how we say the word. Is it the first option or the second option? And if we look or we select the pronunciation in this dictionary entry, then we will say it's the first word, right? Because that is basically how we say the word. All right, so that is now the end of our lesson on dictionary skills. We see that within a dictionary or within dictionary skills, we have guide words. And guide words are the words you find on each page. So you'll find the first word on a page as well as the last word, and all the other words that is between the first and the last word will be alphabetically, right? So the first and the last word are the words that will guide you within a dictionary, right? And then we also looked at at specific dictionary skills or dictionary entries, where we looked at the word, the pronunciation, which is how a word is being said, right, or how you say a word. Then we have the part of speech, which means that it's either a noun, a verb, adjective, adverb, for example. And then they'll either give you the plural form also of that word. Also, with a dictionary entry, if there is more than one meaning, then the meanings will then be written down in numbered form. So if there's three meanings, there will be three, like number one and the meaning, number two and the meaning, number three and the meaning, as well as an example. All right, so this is now the end of our lesson, grade 3 on dictionary skills. Thank you for joining the class and for being interactive. Till next time, have a good day further. Goodbye.